A flat close for the market, but the one with positive bias. Market has ended above the 9,600 mark after scaling fresh record high today in the trade today. It's the third consecutive session of trade that the market has ended in green. Looking into the chart, though the first half of the trading session was a little weak, but we saw some buying activities coming in the late hours of the trade. The second half of the session, again the market corrected, not corrected for that matter. We saw some dip coming in the fag hour of the trade, which dragged the market little lower below its record close of 9637 level, but ending well above that 9600 mark. Today we are in conversation with AK Prabhakar, Head of Research for IDBI Capital. Sir, with bulls not relenting, do you see further steam to this rally?
See, after 9119 crossing, this market has entered a mega bull rally. So, the odd correction will come. See, normally bull markets has the fastest correction. So, you will see, 100 points rally and 150 points correcting. Again, you will have 200 points rally. So, we are in the process of moving higher, but with odd corrections. So, how much it will correct is very difficult, but we have to understand that we are likely to head higher. And maybe by this financial year end, we think 10,500 to 12,000 is the possible target in Nifty.
10,500 to 12,000 by the end of this financial year is a possible target for the Nifty, but at least in the near term, let's take a look at where we're looking at, what we're looking at with respect to Nifty in the options arena. After we have seen the Nifty hold on to 9,600, we're looking at a little bit of writing as far as the 9,500 put is concerned and unwinding in the 9,500 and 9,600 calls. That brings me to max OI, and that has now shifted upwards by 100 points, the range that is, to the 9,400 put on the lower end and demarking the upside at 9,700 as far as the call is concerned. That said, Mr. Prabhakar, we've seen a lot of traction in the banking space recently, but what we've also seen is the PSU banks are starting to catch up maybe just a bit because they've been beaten down so much. How would you play the PSU banks against the private sector right now?
See, the leadership is likely to change, and we are seeing it.
Right.
So, from private banks, it is likely to be the top PSU bank. The 5-6 PSU bank space is where the next leg of the rally is likely to start.
Right.
And when PSU bank starts their rally, it will double in next 1-2 years.
Right.
So, that kind of doubling you cannot see in a private bank.
Private bank.
So, you will have 20-25% rally in next 1-2 years. But PSU bank is the space where you will see stock performing or outperforming the market.
Right.
So we like SBI, which has done the merger. So it will take next 1 year for the pain to complete of the merger.
Yes.
So I think in the next 2 years or 3 years, the stock is likely to double. PNB is one more stock we like, Canara Bank.
Right.
So these PSU stocks are likely to outperform the market, whereas private banks will take a backseat from here.
Right. So Nikki, we are looking at some gainers in the capital goods space, at least in today's day of trade, for following power grid.
Sure. Looking into the chart, Nifty top gainers and losers for the day. Power grid, of course, is the top gainer that we're looking at and has ended the day with gains of around 3%. Next on the list, we have Cipla, which has again gained around 3%. Following it is HDFC and Hindustan Unilever, which has ended the day at record high level. On the flip side, we have Tech Mahindra, Sun Pharmaceuticals, which has lost close to 11% after forecasting more decline in its sale. Adani Ports, which is again losing at 5 to 6%. These are in terms of top gainers and top losers. Pharmaceutical index has taken quite a hit. It's the 10th consecutive session, Agam, that we're looking at that the Nifty pharmaceutical index has ended lower. Now, this is its longest losing streak since October 25th, 2005. Sir, do you see any value picks in the pharmaceutical space now?
See, pharma is very tricky at this point of time. Pharma, if you understand, there is a buyer consolidation which has happened in US. That is putting the price pressure for all companies which are supplying to North America. So that is likely to continue for the next 1 year going forward. Now, and if you see, all margin impact has been in the US market, not in the Indian market. Whoever is supplying in Indian market has fairly done better.
Right.
So I think going forward next 1 year time period is going to be a pain period, but companies which have diversified geographies have done well. When you showed Cipla has done well today, which is a diversified geography. Companies which are focused on US is likely to take a hit, and I think this hit will continue for another 2-3 quarters. So we have to be prepared for it. But if you are looking at a longer term horizon, 5 years, 6 years, I think the price levels which many stocks have come, when they do the course correction, these becomes very attractive. And now if we have to follow the FDA rules, then our cost of manufacturing is likely to increase. So that also we need to factor. And like buyer side consolidation has happened in North America, we need to see seller side consolidation. That is where a lot of pharma companies have to come together, or mergers and acquisition in this field will give the price back to this pharma companies. So this is a very tricky thing. So at this point, I will go for diversified companies. I like Biocon, I like Syngene. So these companies don't get impacted by US FDA.
So earlier you had also spoken about some EPS accretion in some PSU companies such as Power Grid. I think Nikki, you also have a question on the capital goods space.
Yeah, so Power Grid Corporation today is the top gainer that we saw on the list, ending the day with gains of around 3%. The company is going to be reporting soon the numbers. So do you see some value picking up for the overall BSE, PSU space for that matter?
Yeah, see, PSU is one space which is which has value in it. Now, see, for Power Grid, if you take, in 2012 the top line was 10,000 crores. In 2016 it was 20,000 crores, and I think this year they might complete between 24,000 to 26,000 crores. And today is the result. Maybe in some time the result will be out. And I think the EPS will be almost 15 to 16 rupees a full year. So if that is the case, it is very attractive, and next year it can do 18. So for 18 rupees EPS, it is less than 12 times, whereas Nifty is trading at 23, 24 forward earnings. So there is a value in that company, and the company is going at 20-25%. And there are hardly any companies which is in Nifty which is growing at 20% plus. So I think Power Grid or NBCC for that matter, where the order book has increased, and even Engineers India. So these are companies where I think there are a lot of value going forward. So these are companies, if you are looking at 1 to 2 years, you have to invest in these kind of companies.
Just to add that a little bit to the Power Grid Corporation, it's the company that I closely track. It has been a dream run for this company. We have seen gains of nearly 40% in the last 12 months for this company. Today, of course, it's a strong pipeline growth that we're looking in for this company, Agam. Overall, it's a good set of earnings that we're looking forward for Power Grid today.
Absolutely, keep an eye on Power Grid. But I'm going to address the mid-cap space once again, and we're looking at an unfavorable market breadth, at least for now. So we're looking at just about one gainer for 3 other losers, and in the losers we have not only Reliance Communication but several other ADAG companies taking a big knock on account of the weakness coming because of its debt. So we have Arcom down 20.4%, Reliance Infra down 11%, we have Reliance Capital also taking a knock around 9%, with R Power around 8.5%. So as you can see, it's been a pretty bad day for ADAG group stocks. Tech Mahindra suffering on account of weak earnings, and similarly we have CG Power as well down 15.5%. DLF also came out with its earnings, a disappointing set of numbers out there. Now with respect to gainers for now, we have PC Jeweler up 13.8%, Tata Communication, Suven Life Sciences, Dhanuka Agritech as well as Navneet Education all gaining well over 5%, but the momentum for now, it lies with the losers, at least in today's day of trade. And that said, Mr. Prabhakar, I just wanted to ask you about the IT space now. We've seen a little bit of correction there and a little bit of consolidation. What is your view on the information technology sector now?
See, we like stocks, which are in the mid cap. It is not the large cap, which is very attractive. It is a mid cap which is going in double digit. You have Mindtree, you have Cyient, you have Tata Elxsi. These are the companies which are into products. These are the companies which are showing a lot of growth, and these are looking very attractive for us. So I think mid cap IT space is one which will start the rally first, and it will be followed by large caps. Large caps will take time. So mid cap is where we are interested, or that is where now the rally has started. Even today, the Mindtree has done very good. There was a good rally in Mindtree.
Right.
Again, it has corrected, but these are stocks which are on the uptrend, or the uptrend has started. Tata Elxsi has corrected 20% last
Right.
month. So this month settlement it corrected 20%. It looks very attractive. Persistent System is one more company which has a
Right.
tie-up with IBM. So there also we like the stock. And if you want large cap, we like HCL Tech. That is
Right.
our top pick there.
Okay.
So at the just at the cost of repeating a stereotype question that I'd like to ask, any mid cap idea that you see would be tomorrow's large cap,
So
except for the mid cap IT space that we just spoke about.
yeah, there are a lot of companies in mid cap which are likely to see a. Arvind is one company which we track.
Okay.
Where I think there is a lot of value. AIA Engineering is one more company which
Right.
came a slight disappointment in the result. So
Right.
that is one more space we like. Now in MNC Pharma we like Abbott. We like Merck. These are
Right.
companies which are India specific. They don't have a US FDA problem.
Right.
And with almost 135 billion people here, this is where the growth is likely to come.
Right.
So I like India, my MNC pharma companies which are bringing lot of products to India. I think once the growth starts to pick up, these stocks can double from current levels.
Right. Mr. Prabhakar, one last question from my end. We have a lot of questions from viewers after we have seen the trouble in the ADAG group stocks. A lot of people have been holding these stocks for years and years together, waiting and sitting on losses, substantial ones. What do you do with this? Do you hold on to these stocks, or do you actually just call it a day and take your losses and go home?
In market, this is a difficult question to answer.
Right.
I've been faced with so many questions like this. People would have invested in JP Group, or
Yes.
in Suzlon, or
Yes.
even in Kingfisher, and if we fail to take losses at certain point of time,
Yes,
that is going to be the major drawback. We will be sitting with the stock and sometime there can be a turnaround, and these companies can become a multi-bagger.
Right.
So it becomes a very difficult question to answer.
Right.
But if I were in this situation, I would go in for a growth stock. Where I'm comfortable with Power Grid, I'm comfortable with Engineers India,
right.
or NBCC, or
Right.
mid cap IT stocks where I'm comfortable. I'll shift my investment.
Right.
I will not sit with stocks where I'm doubtful. So
Right.
if I'm doubtful, I will take exit. I will take my losses and move on.
Fair enough. If you're doubtful, take your losses and exit and move on. Mr. Prabhakar, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for joining us today. And as for you guys, well, we will be back with more earnings reactions tomorrow in another action-packed day. Until then, it's goodbye. Stay tuned in a Bloomberg.